Hello.
Hello. Hello, V. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good too. So are you ready for our lesson today?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let me share with you the screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So last time we were able to study about of course, it's all about the warm-up activity that we have, right? And then you tell me about the following expression or the following what's the matter between the following persons, right? And you were able to tell me that the first one is he's got a headache, and then the second one is got an earache, and then the third is got a stomach ache, and then the fourth, he's got a toothache. Okay. Now, what do you think of this one, V? Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
what have you observed in using the following words? He's got, he's got, he's got, he's got. Hello?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in this particular activity in here, V, we should have to remember the use of the past simple tense, right? So
Yeah.
when we say past simple tense, what does it mean? Okay, we're just reviewing the of our lesson last time. So when we say past simple tense, what does it mean? We are what?
It's
Hmm?
to describe an action that start and end in the past.
Yes, that means it happened in the past already, or it's already been done. It's already been finished. Okay, now we should have to remember that under the past simple tense, we're going to, or there would be rules to be followed. And what are those? Of course, some verb, okay, we have to add the, okay, at the end of the word. Like for example, okay, if the verb ends in E, we just have to add only D, right? To form the past simple tense of the verb. Okay? I hope you can still remember last time that we watched a video all about that. That let's say, for example, the verb is dance. Okay, so all we need to do is we just had to add only D at the end because the word dance ends in E. So we just have to add D to form the past simple tense of it, right? Right, V?
Yes.
Okay, aside from dance, we have also the so-called
And also
glance. Okay,
glad.
so glance. So the word glance, if we try to form the past simple tense of that, we just had to add only D. So it becomes glance, right? Okay, like for example, if we are going to use this one, okay, let's say glance. Okay.
Glad.
So to form the simple past tense of that, we had just had to add D. So that means it becomes glance. Okay, D? Okay, what else? When we say dance, we just had to add only D. So that means it becomes dance. Okay, what else? When we say uh-huh. Aside from dance, aside from glance, we can also say, okay, last time, okay, we had an activity last time, like for example, okay, wait for a while. Okay, like the word, I hope you can still remember that one, B. The word is okay. So we do have a lot of words. Okay, we do have a lot of words in order for us to form the past simple tense of that. Okay, but that is the first rule. Now, another rule is that if the base form
Yes.
of the verb ends in a like for example when we say ends in a consonant, okay, like for example wastes, okay, so how are we going to do that? So we just had to add only Okay, what are we going to add to that particular base form of the verb in order to form the past form of it? Wastes. Okay.
Okay.
So just add only a ed, right? So that becomes wasted. Okay. What else? So rule number 2, if the verb ends in a consonant, like for example, okay, um, clap. Okay. So clap. So what are we going to do? Now remember the
Clap.
rules. Remember the rules that if the verb ends in a consonant letter preceded by a vowel letter, so what are we going to use? We just have to double the last letter. We have to double the P.
Clap.
Okay,
Clap.
since the clap ends in a consonant. So that becomes clapped and then add ed. So that becomes clapped now. Okay? Okay, what else? If we are going to say start, so how are we going to form its past form of that? So we just had to add only ed. So that becomes started. Okay, V. Okay, what else? If we are going to say, okay, what about when I say describe? Okay, in order to form the past form of that, we need to add only D, right? So that becomes described. Okay, V?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any questions with this before we have to move on to the next lesson? So that is
Yes.
just only an introduction. Okay, we're just reviewing of the lessons that we had last time. Okay, so this time we're going to have an activity in here, but before that, I want you to look at this one. So this one is in the present tense. So the following verbs are in the present tense and this one is in the past tense. So what's the present tense of was, and where? It should be be, right? So these are be verbs. So the be verbs was and where under its past tense. When we are talking of the present tense have, so the past tense of that is,
Yeah.
so what's the past tense of
D
have?
F hat.
Had. What's the past tense of drink?
Tree.
Drunk, right? What's the past tense of eat? So it's
Yeah.
ate, right? What's the past tense of see?
C. Yeah.
Saw. Okay, what's the past tense of give? Gave, right? What's the past tense of take?
Take. Two.
Took. What's the past tense of go?
Go.
Went,
Went.
right? What's the past tense of do?
Uh,
What's the past tense
did.
of do? It's did. Okay. Now, this uh these particular verbs, okay, are we call this one in order to form the past tense of that, okay, we need to change the spelling. Okay, there would be a change for the spelling because all of these verbs in here, we call this one as irregular verbs. Okay, we call them as irregular verbs. So when we are talking about irregular verbs be, we change in spelling, not unlike with the regular verbs. The one that we discussed just a while ago are all regular verbs that in forming the past tense of it, simple past tense of that, we just had to add d or ed at the end. Okay, or we just have to change the y into I and add ed. Like for example, if you're talking about cry, so that becomes cried. But this one, the following, these are all irregular verbs. Why we call this one as irregular verbs? Because we change the spelling. Okay, we change the spelling. So we call this one as irregular verbs. Did you understand, B?
Yes.
Okay. If we change the spelling in order to form the past tense, that is irregular verbs. Okay? Again, now tell me what are the past tense of the present tense be verb? What's the past tense of the be verbs?
Western or the river.
Yes. What are the two
Was.
past tense of the be verbs? We have two be verbs, right? Under the past tense. What are those? We have the was and we have the
Were.
where, right? Now, when to use the was? Okay, when are we going to use the was? So we use the was if we are talking of one subject, okay, in the past. We are talking about where if we are talking of more than, okay, more than one subject, okay? So that is where. That happens in the past. Okay, B? Again, the be verbs that are under the past tense were, was, and where. Was is used if we are talking of one subject that happened in the past. And where is used if we're talking of more than one subject that happened in the past. Did you understand, B? Did you understand?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Again, what are the two be verbs under the past tense?
To river and this button or
Yes. What
take.
are the two be
Huh?
verbs under the past tense?
Yes.
Was and
Were.
where, right? Okay, where do we use was? Where do we use was? If we're talking of,
Or was.
we're talking of one subject. Okay? Now, when do we use where? If we're talking of more than one subject. Okay, B? Again, let me ask you again a question. When do we use was?
When was one subject
Okay. When do we use where?
uh two more than one subject.
Yes, it's going to be more than one or two or more subjects. Okay. Now, let's try to use that in a sentence like this. Okay. I was in the school yesterday. Okay. Can you read the sentence, B? Can you read the sentence? I was
I was in
in
the
the
school.
school yesterday. Okay. Now we use the be verb was in here. That means was is under the past tense. And we are talking of only one subject. And what's the subject, B, that we are talking in here? What's the subject that we are talking in here? It's I. Okay. How many subject do we have? How many subject do we have? It's only
Only I was.
okay. So only one subject, only you, only the person. So therefore we need to use was. Did you get it? Okay. If we try to use were, we can say we were in school yesterday. Okay. Now look at this one. What's the difference between the was and the were? Okay, we use was if you're talking of one subject. What's the subject in this sentence? It's I. That means it's only one person. Therefore, we need to use was. Okay? But in sentence number 2, can you read sentence number 2, V? Can you read sentence number 2, V?
We were school in school yesterday.
Yes. So what is the be verb that we use in here? The be verb is
Yeah. It
what's
were
the be verb? It's where. Okay. Why is it where? Because our subject is, what's our subject?
we
We. Okay, so we, that means it's more than one. It could be two, it could be three, it could be four, or more than that. Did you understand, V? Okay, again, we have to use was if you're talking of only one subject. We use where under the past tense if you're talking about more than one subject. Okay? Okay, next. Now, let's try what is the past tense of have? What's the past tense of have? Kindly tell me the past tense of have. B.
have have
Yes, the past tense is.
have had
Okay, what's the past tense of drink? Again, what's the past tense of drink?
drink
Hmm? Okay, drink
drink
becomes
become
drunk. Okay,
drink
what about eat? What's the past tense of eat?
e
It's ate, right? Or remember that B, huh? What about the past tense of see?
Caesar
Okay, it's saw. What about the past tense of give?
give yes
It's gave, okay? What about the past tense of take?
that took
Okay, it's took, okay? What about the past tense of go? What's the past tense of go?
go go went
Okay, and what's the past tense of do? Okay, it's did, right? Okay, again, V. Have, drink, eat, see, give, take, go, do are all. We call this as
had
present tense. Okay, remember that, huh? These are all the present tense. And then had, drunk, ate, saw, gave, took, went, and did. These are all in the past tense. Okay? And remember, changing the past tense or the past form of the following present tense, we need to change the spelling because we call these verbs as irregular verbs. Okay, V?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the Skype chat, V, I want you to do this one, huh? On the Skype chat. Can you chat to me? Can you give me on the Skype, huh? Can you give me the past tense of the following verbs in the present tense? Okay. Okay, can you give me have? Okay, drink. Okay, eat. See. Give. Take. Go. And then went. Okay. There on the chat, B. Can you open your chat? Can you open your chat, B, Skype chat, and then
Okay.
do the exercise in there.
Yeah.
So can you give the past tense of the following verbs in the present tense? Okay, it's had, drink, ate, saw, gave, took, went, and go. Okay, very good. That one is correct. Okay, I want you to remember this one, B, okay? Now, again, remember those verbs because those are all irregular verbs. So why is it they call or those are irregular verbs? Because okay, we change the spelling. Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, I want you to remember that, huh, V? If we change the spelling of the present tense to make it past tense, so those are irregular verbs. Okay, V? Okay, now let's go in here. Let's go back. Let's go to the next slide now. Now, this one is under the simple past tense again. And remember, under the simple past tense, we have the so-called positive, negative, and a question form. Okay? Now, let's go back, V, to our regular verbs. I hope you can still remember the regular verbs that we have. Okay, like for example, what's the past tense of play? We're talking of regular verbs, B, huh? We're talking of a regular verb. So if you're talking of a regular verb, that means we just had to add D or ED at the end of the base form of the verb, right? So since this one, I played, so what do you think would be the
The
base form of the verb. It's play, right? So we just add what we add? We just
I
add ed to make the simple past tense, right? Right, V? Now, for the positive statement, we can say, I played. How are we going to make the negative statement for that? So we have to say, I didn't played, right? V? So how are we going to do that? Okay, so go to the Skype now. I'm going to make a sentence. Like, for example, I played basketball. Okay, last week. Okay, look at that. I played basketball last week. That means, okay, can you open your Skype chat, V? Can you open your
type
chat?
yes.
Okay, so I played basketball last week. Okay, what's the verb? What's the verb that I
I
use in that sentence?
like
Okay, very good. So the verb that we use in this sentence is played. Okay? And this verb played is in what? Is it in the present tense or is it in the past tense?
testing.
It's in the past tense. Very good. Because the action has been done already. Right? Because of the ed in there. Did you got it, B? Okay. Now, that is positive. Okay. That's the positive one. What about if we are going to make negative statement for that? So how are we going to do that? So I didn't played
Yeah.
basketball last week. Okay? Okay, look at the
Okay.
chat, B.
Yes.
Yes. So negative statement, I didn't play
I
basketball
give
last
last week.
week. Okay, now remember, okay, if we are going to use the subject I want you to remember this, huh? I, okay, we, they,
Sorry.
you.
You.
Okay, so we have to use did. Okay, for the positive one. Okay, I did, we did, they did, you did. Okay, like for example, okay, I did played basketball. Okay, oh, no, no, no. I played basketball yesterday. But of course, in the and as in answering, okay, let's say for example, in doing the negative form of that V, you have to remember I. If you're going to use subject as I, it should be didn't. Okay, we didn't. They didn't. You didn't. Okay, but of course, we can also use she didn't. Okay. He didn't. It didn't. So it's all the same. B, okay? He, she, and then it. We have to use also didn't. Okay? Same if we are talking about I. We will be disconnected after 10 minutes, B. So we just have to go back. Okay? So I, we, okay, they, okay, and you. And then the negative of that is also didn't. So like for example, I didn't played basketball last week. Okay? Or you can also say he didn't he didn't played basketball last week. Okay? Okay? Or you can also say she didn't played basketball last week. She didn't play. Okay. Okay, let's go back in here. Okay. So, didn't, played. Then after that, asking question B. So we have to say, did I play? Okay. B, did you understand it now?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have also you played, you didn't play, did you play? We played, we didn't play. Did we play? He played, he didn't play. Did he play? She played, she didn't play. Did she play? Okay. It played, it didn't play. Did it play? Okay. Now, I have to correct this one, okay? So if you are going to use a did, the negative one, we do not use the past form of it, be, okay? Like for example, I didn't play instead of played, huh? I didn't play basketball last week. Okay, so that would be the correct one. So I didn't play basketball last week. She didn't, okay, didn't play basketball last week. Okay? If we are asking, oh, that means if we are doing the negative. Okay? Now, what about in asking question B? So we can say, did I play? Did you play? Did we play? Did he play? Okay, again, the same. We have to use did, and after that, subject, and after that, the base form of the verb. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Next. So these are how to form the past tense of the verbs under the regular verbs. So we don't need to do that one again because we did that one already. Okay. Now, how are we going to do this? So verbs ending with the consonant Y. So what are we going to do with this? Okay, informing the past simple tense of the verb with this particular words. So we just have to what? We just have to change the Y into I and add ED, right? B. So try becomes,
Verb come tried.
yes. Okay, what about play?
Like, like.
So what are we going to do? How are we going to form the past tense of that? Are we going to change the Y into I? Like for example, like this, like that.
No.
So what are we going to do? Can you tell me the spelling of it? So
E T L A
L A
Y
Y.
E D.
Yes. Why is it only played? Because the word play in here is of course we do not change, or we do not change the y into I. We just had to add only ed. Okay, since because our word or the base form is play, and then it ends with a consonant letter preceded by a vowel letter. So therefore, we don't need to change the y into I. We just had to add ed because this play, the word play is regular verb. Next, what about carry?
Carry.
So that would be,
CIRRI.
okay. Yes. Okay, so carry is carried. Why? Because the word carry ends in Y but preceded by a consonant letter. Okay, consonant letter what? The consonant letter R, like this, right? R. This one is also consonant R. Okay, it ends in Y but preceded by a consonant letter. It ends in Y but preceded with a consonant letter. So therefore, we need to change. But this one, it ends in Y but preceded by a vowel letter. So we do not change. Okay? Okay, next. What about this one? The word stay.
Stay. STIYED.
Yes, very good. So we do not change the Y into I. What about this?
Pay. PAIED.
Yeah, PAID. Okay, it's paid.
Yeah.
So it's only D, huh? Okay. So this one is exemption to the rule. Why? Although this one it ends in Y, but what is one? It ends in Y and preceded by a consonant or a vowel letter, but this one is exemption to the rule, okay? Because we don't have words such as paid that is YED. Okay. Next, what about this one? Buy. So what's the past tense of buy?
I PUYED.
No. Okay, so we change the
Uh,
spelling. So therefore, this one is irregular verb. Okay. So therefore, we have to change the spelling. So buy becomes bought, right? Next, what about when you say?
yeah. Say SAY and I did.
Okay, ID. Very good. Okay, next. What about this one? Okay, just for a while, huh? Wait for a while. Okay, for a moment.
My
Okay, okay, for a
uh
while, B. Okay, so what is the
S
past tense of that one?
I ID.
No. Okay, it should be. Okay, it's an irregular verb, so therefore it should be might. Okay, next, what
Yeah.
about apply? What about apply?
Apply.